Okay, we're back, and so is the dog. Sit down there, buddy. Sit down there, buddy. So we will go into the exercise with the towel, and I'm going to roll this up a little bit so that I can use the towel on the floor and it'll slide. And we're just going to be rolling up the towel with the toes. If you're very ambitious, get yourself a big bath towel, and you'll be working at that for a while. If I want to advance this, then what I'll do is play the piano or use one toe at a time to pull the towel towards me. You can do this at your desk if you have a smooth surface, or you can do it while you watch television. You don't have to make extra time in your day to do these exercises. See, buddy, if you'll let me roll this out again. This is another one, was given to me by my doctor when I hurt the sesamoid bones. In the last video I was talking about those little delicate bones underneath here. When they're injured, they don't heal very well because they're in a tendon. They have a very poor blood supply. So I like to use these metatarsal cushions, especially if I'm wearing heels, to help to protect, to let that sesamoid set down into that little area there and protect the heads of the metatarsals there. So these are dancer's pads. They have a sticky substance and they can be placed right on the foot and worn inside a heel or a ballet slipper to help to protect that area. I'll just take a few marbles out for now. I like to use the entire thing. As I said, this is from my doctor who helped me to rehabilitate my foot after that, and would just be taking these marbles and transferring them from one side to the other, or transferring them into their container. I have a dog lying here again who's making sure he gets into the video. You can see I've got them stuck in my toes now. So I won't do the whole thing and take up all that time, but you can see how we could use one foot and then the other and transfer the marbles back to the other side. And even the actions that I'm doing here to separate the marbles and bring them to me, working my ankles and my feet. When you're done, you can do your final exercise of putting them in the jar, which is what my doctor originally told me to do with just my one foot. But as a dancer, I knew I should always work both sides, so I would do this with both feet and put them all back in the jar. So that's fun to do. Again, something you can do while you watch television or rest in the evenings. So we have here now a couple of different torture devices for lady dancers. I don't have any torture devices for the men because their shoes are much more friendly. Now, some of the guys who dance Latin might disagree, and they might say that those Latin heels really bother them a lot, but it's nowhere near what we deal with in the pump or the toe shoe or the Latin stiletto. So I'm just going to slip this shoe on, because what I want to show is how to use the feet in a good gripping action and a bad gripping action. And we've done a lot of gripping actions just now in our exercise. Sometimes I'll hear that, well, my ballet teacher tells me not to grip, my Latin dancing teacher tells me to grip. There's a difference between gripping the floor and gripping your feet. So right now I'm gripping my feet. Now as a doming exercise, I don't want to scrunch my toes up there. I do want to bring them back, but still trying to keep them long to lift it up. But when I'm dancing, I'll become weight bearing now. I'll stand on that. When we choose our Latin shoe, we want the toes to spread out a little bit over the edge of the shoe because we're wanting to grip the floor with the pads of the toes. So there's a difference now. If I grip my foot, now I'm tensing the arch, I'm losing surface area on the floor, and I'm doing a bad type of gripping. So if I spread my toes and put my weight through the foot in a way that opens my foot up, if I'm pressing the pads of the toes into the floor, I'm gripping the floor, not gripping my foot. So I'm using this Latin shoe to show that, because you can't see it as well in the other shoes, what I would be doing. And obviously in the toe shoe, I cannot do exactly the same thing. In the ballroom shoe, it's more difficult. Many times the ball of the foot may be a little narrow. So try to choose a foot or a shoe that allows your foot to spread out as much as possible. Now we'll look at a couple of balls. Anything you like. This one's a little bit softer. This one's a little bit harder. Here's our Mr. Friend, the tennis ball. And these are great for stretching out that fascia on the bottom of the foot. I don't recommend waiting until you get plantar fasciitis, which most people have had at one point or another in their life. But use this on a regular basis. Now, I'm sitting in the chair right now, demonstrating this massage of the bottom of the surface of the foot and rolling the toes. Because if you're just starting, then you don't want to stand up and put too much weight onto the ball. You don't want to bruise that area. Once you get used to doing this, you may stand up and start to put more and more pressure. So that feels really, really good if you're used to doing it. But that area could be very, very tight and very, very tender. If you've been wearing high heels, or you don't have good, strong intrinsic muscles in the feet, or we're wearing shoes all of our life and not walking barefoot or working on different surfaces, those muscles can become very weak. So just stretching out and releasing that area. So these muscles that we're working with here, lifting up the toes and doming the feet, these are great exercises also to show your students when they come in to learn and start doing a lot of dancing. If those feet are very weak, and then we're working with the releve. In ballroom dancing, we're putting those ladies in a high heel, and they're trying to shape their feet inward, and they may not have the strength in those core muscles of their feet to do a lot of this type of work. So it's one thing to work the larger muscles. As I said, we'll look at that in another video. But we really need to get to the core of the feet, so that's where these very fine-tuned exercises will come in handy.